Hello, everyone. Welcome to PrestoCon Day 2022. We are so excited to get the community together. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know we have people dialing in from everywhere, so welcome. I'm LeClerc. I am the chair of the Presto Outreach Committee. I'm also head of community at Ahana. And together with Girish Baliga, who is chair of the Presto Foundation and senior engineering manager at Uber, we are thrilled to welcome you to PrestoCon Day 2022. We have an excellent agenda. I am super excited. There's a lot of great stuff happening in the project that we can't wait to share with you all. So with that, let's go ahead and get started here. Before I dive in, I have to say thank you to all of our sponsors. Our premier sponsors, Ahana, Alexio, CData, Intel, Meta, our event partner, Passion Bites, and our community partners, CD Insights, Datanami, DZone, Women in Big Data. Happy to have you involved. Couldn't have done the event without you. We really appreciate all of your support, and we thank you a ton for being a part of PrestoCon Day. And now, before we dive into the actual content, just a few housekeeping items. A quick reminder about our event code of conduct. All attendees should feel welcome and included. We take this very seriously. So if you have any issues or if you witness anything, please reach out to our event staff right away. With that, Girish, I'm going to turn things over to you to get us kicked off.
Hey everyone, welcome to PrestoCon Day, and thanks for that wonderful introduction, Ali. So today we are here to talk about all things Presto, and our main user base is the awesome group of data engineers to whom we build and provide these systems and services. Well, today's data engineers face multiple challenges to try to get their job done. In many companies, they have to deal with different kinds of engines for different workloads. So maybe you use a different engine for generating reports, different engine for grooming your data sets, different engines for machine learning workloads, and so forth. And all of this in a rapidly moving environment. So you could end up changing engines over time, replatforming, moving to cloud. It's a very complex ecosystem. And because of this complexity, one of the main things that the data engineer has to deal with is having to navigate between multiple query languages and different interfaces for all these various siloed systems that they need to deal with. And of course, as a consequence of all of this, as the business scales, as they process more and more data, the costs typically get out of hand pretty quickly. Next slide. So we present Presto, which is a fast and reliable SQL for data analytics and the open lakehouse. So this is our mission statement. We are focused on SQL as the primary interface for data analytics. So we come with this thesis that SQL, which is simple, open, declarative, and easy to use, is the primary way in which data engineers and other data users would like to and most profitably interact with vast amounts of data. And Presto is all about speed. That's why we have this emphasis on fast. People use Presto because it's very easy to get up and running, and it's very easy to start using, right? So you don't have to wait for jobs to launch. You don't have to wait for resources to be scheduled. You just fire your query, it runs, you get your results. And it's also very reliable because Presto grew up at internet scale, right? It was built at Meta, as you all know. And we use it at other companies also like Uber and Twitter, where the scale is humongous. And so because it has this strong pedigree, you can rely on Presto even as your needs scale over time. Next slide. So Presto is great for all manner of data analytics. So whether your data is sitting on cloud, whether it's sitting on key value stores, whether it's sitting on databases, whatever formats you have, like Delta Lake, Iceberg, Hoodie, even if your data is sitting in real-time systems, right, like Kafka, Pinot, Redis, MongoDB, Druid, Presto has connectors. And so you can use one system, Presto, to query your data wherever it is, and also mix and match, right? So you can take data from your data lakehouse and join it with MySQL and get insights very quickly. So this is very powerful. So you have one system for all of your data analytics needs. Next slide. But in particular, one of the growing trends we're seeing in the industry is this evolution of the open lakehouse. So, in a short summary, the open lakehouse is basically an ecosystem of data formats, tools, and services, which are all open, right? So, what open means is they're open source, they are open formats. Anybody can come in and contribute and extend them for their use cases. So, increasingly, more and more companies are landing their data in compatible formats in this open lakehouse ecosystem. And so we as the Presto community are working towards optimizing how Presto works with all of these different formats. So we have called out some main storage layers and formats that we are working on. But if there is a format that's not represented here, you're more than welcome to join our community and contribute. We are all about that. So we want to build Presto as the engine of choice, which solves your problems for the open lakehouse and solves it well, solves it efficiently, solves it fast and reliably. Next slide. So coming back to why Presto, with Presto you get one SQL, one language that all your data engineers and other data customers in your company can use to query for all their data analytics needs, and particularly for the open lakehouse for which we are optimizing the engine to work very well. They also have one interface. So you can just go to the Presto interface that you provide to your customers, whether it is a browser, a command line, a dedicated tool like data grep. Be that as it may, we support all kinds of interfaces, but you can provide this one interface to your users, and they can basically use this to query all your data. And most importantly for us as data infrastructure engineers, this Presto provides speed. It's fast. It's extremely reliable because all the latest builds of Presto are tested at Meta and Uber scale. And it's very efficient because it's open, because you can scale it up and down as you need, and because we're working on all manner of optimizations within the engine, as you will see later today. Next slide. So I just want to give you a brief preview of what this means at Uber. So this is how we're using Presto at Uber. You can fire up a query editor. So we provide a browser interface for our users, which looks like this. So you fire up a query editor in a browser, you develop your query using Presto, and then you can use it to query the lakehouse that we have, as you would in any other company or environment. And so you can generate your reports and analyze your data. But the same Presto that you develop, just the way you develop code in an IDE, right? So you can develop a Presto SQL using this query editor. And that same Presto you can use to push it to production. And at Uber, production is basically 4 main different areas. So we can use it to do streaming analytics, so to compute real-time signals. So think monitoring, alerts, basically any kind of business metrics you want to track. We can use this to do real-time analytics, so actual product features. So in Uber Eats app, for instance, today there are many widgets there which are powered by Presto SQL running on Pinot. You can use this with standard traditional interactive SQL, so generate reports periodically, and also detailed analysis, right? So for machine learning, for model building, feature analysis, and so forth. So all of this, one SQL, one interface. So that's the promise of Presto. And that's kind of what we're living at Uber today. Next slide. And so how do you get involved in Presto, right? So one great way is to attend PrestoCon Day and connect with our engineers. But beyond this, you can get involved into our community in 3 different ways. So the most important way, of course, is to be part of our user community, which is the one on the right. So you can join our user groups, our Slack channel, our email groups, and keep up to date on what's going on. And then if you want to get involved within the internals of Presto, you want to contribute, then you can start attend our technical steering committee, which is run by our set of committers. And we have an open process. Anybody can engage with our community and become a committer. And then if you want to be even more involved, so for instance, as a company, if you want to contribute to the community and be part of organizing events and other kind of governorship, you can pay our community fees. All of which go to the nonprofit Linux Foundation. And then you can join our governing board and be part of our amazing outreach committee, which is run by Ali and other folks to reach out to our broader community through events like this. Next slide. So I'll wrap this up with the principles and goals that we have set for ourselves as a community. So we are all for one open, neutral, and unified Presto community. So whoever joins the community, all we ask of you is to put Presto as primary focus and work towards building Presto as an engine that is useful for all our community. We also have open, transparent technical leadership and direction. So we have very open guide rules that we follow for all our committees and our governing board, open, fair elections. All of this is a very transparent mechanism. And the most important principle is we are all equal here. We have come together as a community to build a better engine and ecosystem for data analytics and lakehouse. And so no one individual or company is greater than the project and its community. So with that, I'll hand it back to Ali, who will introduce us to the amazing program we have today. Thank you all, and see you later.
Thank you, Girish. Fantastic. So Girish touched on this, the Presto community. There's a lot of different ways to get involved and to join. But just to give you some highlights through meetup.com, we have over 2,800 members worldwide, and that number is growing. We have meetups all over the world. As things go back to more in-person this year, we hope, and next, we'll be doing a lot more in-person events locally. So we encourage you to join your local Presto meetup. If you have a talk that you want to talk about, we love to hear that. And so that's one channel through which you can interact with the Presto community. Our GitHub continues to grow. Our Presto project gets a lot of stars, and we see a lot of traction around that. And then users continue to grow. So you can see here some of the companies, the users that are actually using Presto in production at their companies. And so the community is growing, it's vibrant. There's a lot of exciting things going on in the project. And as Girish mentioned, we encourage you to join at whatever level you're most comfortable at. If it's just getting started, that's fantastic. If you're an advanced Presto user, that's also fantastic. We welcome everybody to join the Presto community. Okay, so let's talk about what's in store today. I am your official MC for the day, so you unfortunately will not be getting rid of me. But like I mentioned at the beginning of this session, we have an awesome jam-packed session agenda. You're going to hear a lot more from companies that are using Presto in production today. Blinkit, Platform 24, Uber. I think Girish gave a little sneak peek. Meta. A lot of companies are using Presto to do some really impressive things. You'll be hearing more about that. You're also going to be hearing a lot more about key innovation going on in the open source project. So companies like Meta and Tencent and ByteDance are going to be sharing a lot more about what they're doing from an engineering perspective around the open source project. And then we're going to hear more about the partner ecosystem. Girish talked a lot about the Lakehouse, the Open Data Lakehouse. You have projects like Apache Hoodie that are doing some really impressive things with Presto. And so you're going to hear a lot more about what's going on from a partner perspective and all the technologies that work well with Presto. They're going to be sharing more about some of the advancements they've been making over the last few months. So with that, I will leave everybody on a cliffhanger. Please stick around. In our closing remarks, we have a major announcement to make. We're really excited to share it, and Girish and I will be sharing it in the closing remarks. So yes, that means you have to stick around. But I think it's going to be a great day. You're going to have some really awesome sessions, some great speakers, and we're super excited. So with that, folks, that's the end of our opening keynote. And I think we're going to move over to our next session, which you can just stay where you are.